Hello, 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 everyone. Well, this is a little later than I was expecting to do this, but uh, you know, I wanted to explain a few things about the Book of Job and why it's important and why I like it so much. But first, we have a transition to get to. Blah blah blah. And again, another transition. Blah blah blah. I hope you all like my random sound effects I put into the videos every now and then. So, first of all, you know, why do I like the Book of Job so much? Let's get the personal stuff out the way, because there's a lot I want to talk about. Honestly, there's some things I will not talk about because, you know, why, and they're so obviously. Excuse me while I take a drink of my Gatorade. But there's a lot of stuff that you know, that the Book of Job helped me process during a tough time in my life. So, one, it really helped me. Two, it's a book in the Bible. Three, it's a book in the Bible. So, that's honestly why. And it'll be evident how much I've studied this book over the many years that I've had to study the Bible. You know. Anyway, the other part of what I wanted to talk about in this video is why the Book of Job is important for us to study. Um, One, and this is going to be brief because it is brief. It gives us a brief glimpse into angelology in general. So it just gives us a brief, brief part of what God's interactions with the angels are. Two, it gives us a brief view of the relationship between God and Satan as it is now. Um, and reason number three is why is going to be the main part of this video. Probably, I don't know. I may come up with another reason to talk about it. Towards the end. We'll see. But the main part of the Book of Job, because God never tells Job that, hey, Satan incited me against you. He said, if I take away your health and all your belongings, that you would curse me and die. So Satan never gives Job that answer, and well, Satan never gives Job the answer. God never gives Job the answer either, and God's just, you know, um, God's just like, Job, I'm giving you an answer, but not to the question you're asking. So, or I'm giving you an answer to the question you're asking. It's just not the answer. That's not the entire answer. So, um, and of course, if you want to learn more about the Book of Job, go to the channel, and we have an entire 3-part series on the Book of Job on the main podcast with special guest David Pierce, who gives some insights on just the book in general and what God comes to the how God comes to answer Job at the end. So if you want a fuller deep dive into that, go look at that. Go look at those 3-part series. It's one of my favorite. It's three of my favorite episodes that we've produced. Not saying that all the other episodes are bad. I'm just saying I like the Book of Job a lot. But you know, why is Job important? Because the main part of the book devotes itself to the question of why do good people suffer, and an answer that people aren't expecting. So, Um, my my views have changed on that a lot, and the the reason I think God allows suffering, and this is something that will be talked about more deeply in the main podcast, because I want Nathan's input on it as well. But just suffice it to say that if you view an if you read the Bible honestly, it'll give you the answer as to why good people suffer, and most of it the time it is to grow, to you know, and of course we as God's adopted children, he gives us the tools we need to grow, and sometimes he gives us the answers to our prayers in unexpected ways. So right now, I'm just gonna give you guys a brief summary of Job. You know, just Job as Zach sees it, to be honest, and it really the main part of the book, because there are certain parts of the book, like the beginning, where we have Job, the introduction to Job, that's super clear. It's just, hey, this is Job. This is who he is. This is what he has. Um, of course, the 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 throne of God, or wherever God is holding this meeting of the sons of God, or meeting of the angels, and it's just that's just the inciting incident to the rest of the book. And of course, the end of the book where God restores Job and his three friends. That's those are really really clear. So there's no really room for interpretation. But the middle parts of the book, basically from chapters 3 to from chapter 40, basically chapter 41, where it's Job and his three friends arguing, then it's Elihu talking, then it's God talking to Job, and Job not coming up with a proper answer. That's the main part I want to summarize right now for y'all, or here in a moment. I just want to make it clear that this is all my stuff. This is all Zach. Um, if you agree with me or not, if you agree with me or not, leave it down in the comments. Um, we don't have to agree on everything. And before I begin, a brief bit of context. The history of the Book of Job, we don't really know it. It's said to be one of the oldest books in the Bible. We don't know. I don't think that's the main focus of the book. I think the main focus of the book is, this, uh, this, this discussion of the issue that is prevalent in the that's prevalent that dominates the majority of the Book of Job. So that's with all that preamble out the way. Uh, the summary, as I see it, to the Book of Job is there is four schools of thought, or four different arguments being presented in this book. The first one is Job's friends. Number one is Job's friends, Job and his friends, and what they're arguing is God is just, so therefore Job, you must have done something. It's a cause and effect argument. So Job, because we know God is just, and because we know humans are fallen, therefore Job, you must have done something to cause God to act out against you in this manner. Job, what did you do? And Job's friends are just outwardly, just explicitly accusatory of him the entire time, causing a downward spiral for Job, from going from his right view, which I'll explain in a moment, to you know, doubt of God, and then to like self-righteous, you know, accusation of God. And it's really, I'm not saying that this spiral wouldn't have happened. I'm just saying that at the very least, Job's friends accelerated that downward trend of Job going from actually blameless to self-righteous accusation of the wrong person. Um, the second argument is Job's, and you know, it's funny about this is I taught a series of lessons to the teens on this a few weeks ago, and the way I summarized Job's argument was, "But I'm innocent." Yeah, excuse me while I take drinks. Talking dries your throat. But yeah, Job's entire argument is, "But I'm innocent," um, and like I said, that that argument goes on a downward trajectory of Job actually being right and blameless, saying, but in his first couple of speeches of "but I am innocent," it goes from "but I'm innocent" and Job's right to Job saying "but I'm innocent" and him not being fully innocent, because like I said, he goes from actually being blameless to a middle stage of not knowing what really to think, and then finally just to blatantly calling God to come and accusing him of not being just. Um, the fourth argument, or not the fourth, the third argument here is the argument of Elihu of the old wisdom is gone. Of I came here, so basically Elihu is So basically, all of Elihu's speech, or speeches, however you want to categorize them, I think it's just one continuous speech because I think Elihu's just saying, you will be quiet and listen to me now. But Elihu's entire point is that I came here seeking wisdom from elders, and all I got was these pitiful arguments. You all are not as wise as I thought you were. And he just says that. And a really interesting thing about Elihu is that God never corrects Elihu for his views, because Elihu's views of God and these old men is actually correct, because Elihu says you all are wrong, and God is more complex than the simplistic arguments you boiled him down to of what it is. But it's just amazing that Elihu comes and just absolutely just destroys these four elder statesmen, in saying you have an entirely simplistic view of God. What the heck are you doing? You are not as wise as I thought you were. And the fourth argument. Hold on. I just had a realization. So there are actually five arguments, but you don't see that in the main book. I will get to that realization just here in a minute. That fifth argument here in a minute. Actually, no. I'm going to start with that one. So the argument we do not see, or the argument that's not part of like the main dialogue of the book, is the argument of Satan saying might not be entirely. Job might not be. So Satan's point of view is that man is inherently, just inherently evil. Which, is he wrong? Technically, no. Man is inherently evil. We can see that from Genesis 3, to basically when the new heaven and new earth are created in Revelation. But I think Satan's main point that he wants to prove is man is that Job specifically is more ready to sin than God thinks, and Satan is proven wrong in that view. He's proven wrong that Job is just chomping at the bit to sin, at least in the way at least in the way Satan thinks of it. But anyway, that's just an interesting tidbit. And again, I preface this with saying this is all my views. I don't know if this is entirely right. I'm okay with being wrong. I've said that on the podcast before. I'll say it here again, and I'll keep saying it until the day, I'm with Jesus, and it doesn't matter. Anyway, so, but back to the arguments. So the last dialogue we see between two characters is God and Job, and it's not really even a dialogue. It's just God coming down and teaching Job what is what. So God's entire argument is, Job, you are not in the position to accuse me of anything. Now, again, I'm reminded of something that David said during the Job series we did in season 1. He said it's the creator the creature relationship, that God is just reminding Job, you are the creature, I'm the creator, and my brain just automatically says God is saying, Job, you are not in the position to accuse me of anything. God even says, Job, will you declare me guilty to prove yourself innocent? At one point, it's just amazing. I'm gonna actually look up that verse real quick, guys, just so you have a reference to go with what I just quoted. Give me a minute. Sorry. You know what, guys? Never mind. Yeah, that would take entirely too long, and I'm not gonna sit here and look for a verse. But I strongly encourage you guys to read the book of Job, and you'll see it for yourself. Like God is basically just verbally pushing Job around, just saying, "Come on, Job, answer me like a man." Anyway, but that's the summary of Job. And again, us and Job don't really get the answer we want, or a clear answer to why good people suffer. But the answer we do get, and I think this is stated very clearly, is we are not in a position to accuse God of causing our suffering, which He doesn't. More often than not, it's our own choices that cause us to suffer, and God is allowing these things to happen. There's this movie scene. I don't remember what movie he's from, but I think it's basically it's in a courtroom, and this lady is asking a religious man, or I don't know if he's Christian or not, but he clearly believes in God, or at least a similar God to what me and Nathan do, or maybe even the same one, but just slightly different views on him. But he says the judge, or the attorney asking him questions, asks him a question. He's just like, she asks him a question about prayer. He says, I pray to God to give me patience, wisdom, and strength. And he said, he gave me challenges to grow my patience. He gave me difficult puzzles to grow my wisdom, and he gave me uh, challenges to grow my strength. So that's just so God does not cause our problems, as some people would say, but he gives us puzzles and challenges to overcome in life that give us what we want in the end. Um, you know, and that's why the Book of Job is important, guys. It's really one uh, suffering does happen in this world, and we may never know the full reason. Okay, Isaiah, I think it's, if I remember right, it's Isaiah 55:3 or 58:3. I think it's Isaiah 55:3. Let me make sure. And this one I'll actually look up, I promise. Where is Isaiah? Too far. Ah, there he is. Oh gosh, Isaiah, why'd you have to write it such a long book? Nope, not 55:3. Not 58:3 either. I was wrong. Is it chapter 50? Hold on. Let me go to my trusted friend. One moment, guys. I'm looking this up. Ah, Isaiah 55:8, 9. I knew there was an 8 in there somewhere. So it says, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, and my ways neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." So, in answer to a question, this is just my answer. Why does God allow suffering and just bad things to happen to good people? As the question has been asked so many times. I don't know. But one of the reasons, I think, I don't fully know, because God's ways and thoughts are so much higher than mine that I can't guess the full reason. But I think part of the reason is it gets us to grow as humans. We must we as humans must face difficult challenges in the world to grow. That's just my guess at it, though. Uh, where was I going? Book of Job. Uh, reasons why it was important. Oh, right, number 2, and this this might be a spoiler for one of our episodes when we talk about prayer, but I think the second reason why the Book of Job is important is that when we do pray to God, we might not get the answer we want. We might not. We might. So first of all, when we pray to God, we might not get the answer we want, and second of all, we might get the answer we want, just not in the way we think we're gonna get it. But anyway, that's all I had for you guys. Just a brief explanation of the Book of Job as the way I see it. There. Um, um, so I'll see y'all next time one more transition. La la la. And see you guys later.